Okay, here we are for another episode of Choose Your Path with me, your host, Sharontel Durskell, celebrity publicist, motivational speaker, and number one international best-selling author of the number one habit series for entrepreneurial success. I really appreciate you guys coming in. Hello. I know this is a different time and day. We are doing this on a Friday at 6:30 p.m. But it's still going to be a great time. We're going to have an amazing time. How are you doing, Brenda? You are still first, no matter what time that it starts. Talk about support. Oh my goodness, the support is real. And I absolutely love it. That goes a very long way. Support goes longer than any dollar I could receive. Yeah, you do it. I appreciate it. And my internet is acting crazy. Okay. It's not letting me type. Hello, hello. Oh, we are just waiting for the guest. Every live is perfect? You think so? Thank you. I appreciate that. I really, really appreciate that. I have learned to make sure that whatever I'm doing, I have a backup for the backup and for the backup. Because things can definitely go wrong. And you have to be prepped for that. You have to be prepped for that. Hello, everybody. Everybody is coming in. We are ready on a Friday. Oh my goodness, I'm loving it. The roses, thank you. All the love. Shout out to 10K Cars, who is the sponsor of this show. Thank you so much. I appreciate that for coming in, you guys. We're just waiting a few minutes, waiting for my guest. He may be here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, thank you so much for your donation. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Hello, 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 everyone. I'm just waiting for my guests to come in. Dun, 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 We're going to play some music. Boom, dun, 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 dun. As we wait. Shout out to Creative Art of Expressions. I see you in here. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. I sincerely, really, 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 really appreciate it. 2 minutes? Okay. Oh, no, no.
Hello,
Leona,
hello, hello.
okay. You know,
Yeah.
I was going to get you after this.
Come on, I think I'll
Be-
fail you. Come on.
uh-huh,
No,
uh-huh.
now
Yeah.
I was
Uh-huh,
outside and I saw the call coming through and I'm, oh shit, Sharon, let me head back into the Wi-Fi area.
uh-huh.
Yeah, because in the Florida, did you get the card
Yeah, I got the card
and the
right like
QR code?
after 6:30.
No, I'm gonna strangle someone.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to strangle someone. I definitely
And
will.
then I was like, where's the pictures? Like, I
Hmm.
like to show the pictures.
Don't worry.
It's
When he come
uh-huh.
on, we'll send the pictures over
It's one thing to be like, I have a digital business card, but it's another thing
to
to
just show
actually
them.
see it. Cause
That's right. That's
Yeah, you
right. So
have
how are
to
the
show it.
fans? How are the fans doing? Whoa, they have like 288 fans
I
on
know
today.
this is crazy. I think that people are like at home and they
Hmm.
have nothing to do, like
No, no, no.
literally.
They love you. It's not like they have
You
nothing to
think?
do. They
Do
love
you
you.
think so?
They love you and they want to show up for you. Even if they were busy, they would have taken the time out to come and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to be here. Okay?
Oh, wow. I didn't even think about that. Hello. Oh,
That's
look
it.
at there.
Hey guys, how are you?
Sister
Hmm.
underscore Pew. Glow
That's it.
Parker. They said, hello, 10K cards. How did you know I was
Glow
waiting
is
for
in
my
the
guest?
building.
Is he
Yeah,
in
and
here?
I
How do
realized you
I
were here.
even know? It's so many people in here. Hello, everybody.
If
Wow.
he's here and you want to bounce, you can do it, no problem, but I'll be right here. Okay?
Oh no, stay right here. That's cool.
No problem.
I am always so awkward talking to the screen. It's so funny. You know that there are people on here, right?
Right.
But you don't see them. So for
I
me,
know.
because I'm old school, I mean, I came before all of this. So
Right.
I need to see the person when I'm having a conversation, but people listening and they're watching me, but I don't have
That's
anyone
right.
really I feel like I can talk to. The vibration. I
I'll be
don't
honest with you.
connect
I'll be
with
honest with you.
this.
Clubhouse prepared us for this. With the kind of energy
Yeah.
and the kind of interaction on Clubhouse, like having a conversation like this
Uh-huh.
is so easy. It's so awesome. Can I have a 10K card, please? Of course you can.
Oh,
DM
he
me,
said
go to
I could
10K
tap in.
cards.
Do I tap in uncut? What do I tap in? Okay, he's here. He's ready. If
Oh, he's
not,
ready?
I'll bring
Okay,
you
cool.
back. Yeah.
Guys, love you. Let's have a great show. Sharon, tell them right here.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay, there, bye.
All
Bye.
right, bye. 10K cards. Wow. Oh, I got to kick you out,
Yeah, leave.
huh? Thank you guys for coming in. I really appreciate it. Oh, they said I can bring them in. So let's see. I got to find them. Okay. Ooh. I'm going to be on the camera like frozen. I wasn't
Hey,
sure if it was this page or not. Oh my
oh yeah,
goodness.
oh yeah.
All right, that's okay. We're going to jump into this. I really appreciate your time, and I apologize for that because I was definitely looking for
Oh no,
the Mr. Page. So, hey
I got
there,
you. Hey, how
welcome.
you doing? How you doing?
I am doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm blessed. You know, I can't complain about a thing at all.
Oh, can't complain at all. It's such a blessing to see another day, right?
Oh, it is. It is. It is.
Woo. I could take a moment and just think about that. Like, that's a blessing to see another day. And I don't even think people even take a moment to even really think about it.
One more time. It was kind of
I said, oh, it
technical
did it stop a
difficulty.
little bit? Oh, probably because
Yeah,
we
for a
got all
second.
these people coming in. They're gonna be starting to kick people out. They do that sometimes. Um,
Oh wow.
yeah, I know that's real, right? I was saying
Right.
that I don't think people even take back a moment to even think about how blessed we are to see another day.
Right. 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 Every day is a blessing.
It's every day is a blessing. And then some people like really wake up complaining.
Yeah. You
Oh,
know, it's life is too short to be complaining. You know, to see another day
oh.
free and healthy. You know, that's it's a blessing. You know.
It's such a blessing. So let's talk about it. So I'm Sharon Tell because this is our first time meeting. I'm so grateful
Oh
for
yeah.
it.
Nice to
Yeah.
meet you, Mr. LPD.
Mr. LPD, you
Yeah.
somebody. I feel like I'm bringing in the Pope, and I'll tell you why. I swear, I was like, I can't wait to talk to him because people were congratulating me, and I was like, what is this? What's going
Oh
on?
wow.
Yeah. And I was like, what's going on? I was like, maybe I'm talking to someone. You know, sometimes you never know who's in the room, right? And
That's
it
right.
feels like one of those things right now in virtual reality. Like, I don't even know who I may
Uh,
be speaking to right now at this moment.
hey.
So let's talk about it. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
So where are you originally from? I'll go
Well,
there. Let's start from the beginning.
I'm originally from Mississippi, North Mississippi. I'm from Tupelo, a town called Tupelo, Mississippi.
Tupelo, Mississippi. I've never
Yeah.
heard of that place.
Oh wow, Richard Pryor. A lot of people talked about it.
Nope,
Steve
nope.
Steve Harvey's talked about it, and on his show, what was that? Malcolm and Eddie. Tupelo is, it's
Oh
just
yeah, that's in the celebrity light. But I'm talking about like growing up. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. And it never really
okay,
came up in
okay.
conversation. You know what I mean? I'm thinking about like when I was growing up.
Oh,
It
right
never
down the
really
street from
came up
Memphis,
in
Tennessee.
conversation. Really? That is so
Yeah,
dope.
yeah,
Wow, how was
yeah.
it?
Well, growing up in Tupelo, I mean, pretty much like any other small town. It's faster than a lot of cities in the state of Mississippi, but pretty much a small town boy growing up.
That's pretty cool. Cleveland, Ohio was Cleveland, It was pretty dope though, because I'm glad that my grandmother raised me. Like every time when I think about that, I'm like, oh man, I feel like I
Right,
relived the childhood all over again. It feels so good to sometimes think about home. Of course, there was
right.
things that wasn't pleasant, but there was a lot
Okay.
of things that was good. And I'm
Yeah.
happy because here we are. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
There you
all of
go.
that was relevant, yeah, to today.
Right. The upbringing. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So how are you doing during this pandemic?
Oh man, the pandemic. We kind of try to make the best out of it, but I mean, it slowed down a lot of travel for one. I lost my pops during this pandemic. That's like
Oh,
the
my
downside
condolences.
of it.
That
Yeah.
is
Thank
definitely
you.
a downside. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whew.
Other than that, just pretty much social distancing. I don't, do a bunch of the parties and clubbing and all of that stuff. I'm kind of just, low key, able to work from in house or whatnot, more, and just take a lot of time to plot, plan, strategize, and just stay safe, But it is what it is. It's changed the whole world. Look at us going virtual.
Oh,
We should be
yeah.
side by side doing this interview, but it's got
This
us
would have
virtual,
never happened. Yeah,
right?
I probably wouldn't even be doing the interviews to be honest with you,
Oh
because
wow, yeah.
before, yeah, I'll tell you why. Like before the interviews, I was doing speaking engagements. And I
Okay.
had one, yeah. So last year I had them booked all over the place. And
Oh
I had
wow.
one booked in Estonia, in Europe. I had booked a space at a hotel, and I was going to bring 300 business leaders from all over the world, sold out, right?
Wow.
I mean, I'm doing things that people don't even know. Like this is what I'm doing. That's why everybody has to tap into whatever they have, because it's
Right.
not about always being seen.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's the
Right.
purpose. So yeah, I
Right.
would have been doing that, but then God had another plan, and I was down with it.
Another plan. Yeah. Oh
And I
wow.
was down.
So
I was okay with it. So these
yeah.
conversations started by bringing on friends, and let's
Mm-hmm.
just have a conversation. Let's tap in. Check, check,
Tap in.
check, check. Mike, you good over there? How's the family? Let's talk about that, even in the light of giving people the opportunity, but that probably wouldn't see you in a personal aspect because
Mm-hmm.
they're so used to the entertainment part. They get to actually see that you're human,
Right.
a
Right.
human connection through the conversation. So that's what this is. It
That's
turned
good.
into
That's
a
good.
thing.
I
And
see. Oh wow.
it turned into a
Congratulations.
thing. Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. It's such a blessing. I mean, I've been having conversations like most of my life with my grandmother. So this is just another form of that. That's all. That's
I
all this
like that.
is. Yeah. So
Okay.
I would have my
Okay.
coffee. I'm going to be drinking that throughout the conversation because
Drinking.
that's what we would do. We sit at the
Well,
table and we have a
well,
drink.
I've got a little wine if you don't mind.
Okay, no, are you kidding me? My conversation yesterday, that's what she had. So I was
Mm,
cool with it. It's not even about that. It's making sure at least long as we can vibe, we'll
right.
be all right through this next hour.
There
So,
you go.
and we're
I'm
vibing
out
so
here.
far, Mr. LPD.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah. Oh
vibing
yeah.
so far. So, so you had the loss. So did I. I had quite a few. One
Oh
of my
wow.
friends, though, one of my dearest friends, she was 46 years old, right?
Ooh.
And I seen her early part of the year, right
Right.
before I went. I co-hosted an event with Hot Boy Turk in
Okay.
Kansas.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
right before there, I had went to Cleveland, seen her. We had a great time. We listened to music all night long. It was the best time ever.
Oh wow.
And that was the last time. The
Mm.
next time that I seen her, here I am on a microphone saying, things of memories. And
Oh
out
wow.
of that came a book.
Huh.
I'm bringing out, I'm putting out a book soon. It's The Mirror That You Don't Want to See. I think that a lot of us walk around with literally a mask over our face, but we've
Yeah.
gotten to, I don't know. Maybe I guess you can probably call it a matrix, being okay with going to work,
Hmm.
a little bit of entertainment, a little bit
Right.
of this and that, and then
Right.
that's it.
Right. That's it.
We're really not going deeper and really looking at life and why we're here and what is the purpose of all of this. Because it all has a purpose, right?
It does. It does.
Yeah, we're not
It
paying
does.
attention to that. And so I'm hoping, people always say like these conversations should be, oh my God, look who you have on there. It should be bigger and it should be brighter and all of this stuff. And it's like, this
Ah.
is not the time for that. The
Right.
time for it is the people that need to hear it, the people that need this, the need to see both of us on here at this moment. They will
Right.
be there. It's not, once again, about a big ass crowd of people that
That's right.
ain't really going to put out the vibrations that we're trying to put out right now so that people can get up and
Hmm.
realize that they can choose their path no
See,
matter
that's
what
it.
it looks like. You have a
That's it.
choice. You
That's
have a
right.
choice. I seen that growing up in Cleveland. I
Uh-huh.
don't get in cars with a bunch of
No.
people.
No.
But
No.
you have a choice at that moment, right? What up? You about to you need a ride down the, and that's a choice right there. You choosing your path of whether or not you get in this car and you have no idea where they're going, what's going to happen, or what's going to go down, or
Right.
am I going to go ahead and take that walk and get and know, my chances is pretty. I may make it home. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
Without all the lights and all of that,
All of
all
the
of
rah
that.
rah.
This, yeah, all the rah
That
rah.
that's ironic that you mentioned that you just happened to mention that as an example because I mean we all do have chances and opportunities and situations that'll come up that could turn into either the wrong path or the right path. And I can remember years ago I had an opportunity to go with some guys. I mean they were doing some pretty illegal stuff, but they never made it back. You know they got stopped and locked up for like years, like over 10 years. So
That's
me
it.
taking that moment and saying, no, I don't think I'm going to do this because something else actually came up. And, God is the cause of everything. So it was a reason something else came up. And I wouldn't be sitting here right now talking with you if I'd have took that trip. So yeah,
Yeah.
you made a
So
good example.
choose your path. That's what it's about. And I
Right.
really do have like unscripted conversations. I don't know where it goes sometimes and it just go and it flows. And I just, being in media, I'm
Uh-huh.
just don't want things to sound like an interview. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
me asking you where you from, I want
Right.
to go back to the beginning so then I kind of get a glimpse of who I'm talking to,
That's right.
what
That's
the
right. That's right.
culture was like. You understand what I'm saying? Because we all
Right.
live in different ways. And
Different.
I was talking to Parnell Damone Marcano from Greenleaf.
Oh, okay.
He was on the other day. We talked on Martin Luther King Day, and he was saying like he didn't have that experience that I have, and I said, great. You grew up in a great upbringing. You grew up with love. Awesome. We have something to
Right.
talk about. You can share your experience and then I can share my experiences. I don't know why everybody feels like you got to come from the mud in order
Right.
to make some change. That ain't always the case for everybody, but people
That's
do
right.
have
That's
that
right.
perception, right?
That's
That
right.
ain't the case. We
Right.
have these conversations and we come from two different backgrounds, but it's still
That's
relevant
right.
to the path. Did you choose it? It looks like you chose it to me. So come on and let's have a conversation about it. Because I
Let's
only want
talk
to talk to
about
people who are
it.
evolving. I don't want to talk about the same thing over and over and over again.
Right.
We want to talk about how to
Right.
evolve, how to grow, conversations
Right.
that is relevant. You understand what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
So
That's right.
yeah, I'm happy. I'm
That's right.
happy that you're here. So, who were
Oh
some of your
yeah, it's a
biggest
pleasure.
inspirations growing up?
Oh
Like
wow,
coming
growing
through,
up.
coming up.
Well, coming up, I mean, I was inspired by a lot of different people and things, and it may not have been huge people to everybody else, but like, I mean, I play drums, so coming up, I was always, drumming, and there was a local television show in our town, and it come on every morning before we go to school. And I'd wake up and I'd like to see the drummer play the drums, and it just always made me think, maybe one day I could be on TV, or like it showed. It was a hometown film show, but it showed how it just gave me a dream to like maybe one day,
that's dope.
So
Yeah.
that was like one of the big inspirations, and just a lot of the local celebrities and local guys. Well, I call them celebrities because they were doing things that were putting them on local television. But when you're a kid, you don't know that hey, this station may not even make it to Ohio.
Oh no, you don't think that. No,
you're just a little kid, and you're like, well, they're on TV. They're from my hometown. Maybe one day I could be on TV if it's just this television station. So a lot of the local guys I looked up to, and of course some of the bigger TV stars or whatever. But the local people really inspired me and made me feel that, hey, being from Tupelo, Mississippi, I can one day be on television or the radio or whatever I want to do.
Yeah. And that's how I felt about Steve Harvey, because I was like, whoa, this man lived 10 blocks from me. Right?
Wow. Right.
Yeah. And so I learned, honestly, on this journey, how to manifest. I really feel like I did. Like I realized that I can do whatever I want to do. Like I really have the freedom to do that. But there's a but in that. I gotta fall in love with the process, because there's a process to it.
It is.
Yeah.
It's not overnight.
Yeah. It's not like, I'm thinking and I'm like rubbing on the genie and I'm like, can I get on TV? It ain't that. So I seen, Steve Harvey was that dude for me. And then, so I had to meet him. You know what I mean? I had to meet the person that like made such a significant difference in my life. And we shared the stage together. Literally, like we shared the stage together, and it was pretty dope. And we got it was amazing. Like we got to sit and really chop it up. We talked about his brother. His brother went to the same high school I went to. We just really, and I wanted to ask him, how do you deal with the 216 number popping up on your phone? Because once you reach a certain level, and you don't even get to the level, you could be just on TV and everybody think you made it.
That's right.
You're
right. You're absolutely right.
I didn't I wasn't ready yet. Like even if I was there, I still wasn't there yet. That didn't happen for me. How long did for you where you felt like, okay, I can, take care of this and that now? When did you realize that?
I mean, well, it's still a path and a journey, but I mean, just it just kind of I just kind of go with the flow. So it just kind of it came a time to where it was like, okay, you are on the radio, and I think I was like a teenager, like one of the biggest artists in rotation from where I'm from. So I mean, of course, a lot of people they're like, well, hey, you're on the radio, you're big, because in their minds they may think that radio station is across the world, but it's only in Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee. We have to go over to Georgia and go everywhere else to get that, notoriety we're trying to get. But I just kind of went with the flow with everything, and still, it's just I just go with the flow with everything.
Nature, though.
That's it.
That when I think about when you say go with the flow, that's exactly how nature is. Sometimes you just gotta release and just let it go. I did river tubing. I always talk about this story. I did river tubing a couple years ago. And the thing about river tubing, once you get in that tube, you don't really have no control when you're in the river.
The wind and the water.
That's it. And you better hope that the current is pretty good, because if it's not, I don't think you're going to have a choice about choosing your path unless you meet the maker and you like, what up? Like, I see the light, but can you send me back there? I'm not ready.
Right.
I ain't ready.
That's right.
Yes. So I did it. I'm all for it, because I'm about experience, because I want to live every bit of this. Like I want to die completely empty. Like when I go up there, he's gonna be like, Sharon Tell, like I had nothing else left for you. Like, come on through and chill. Now you can chill. That's what he gonna say to me. I'm telling you. So
So you
yeah,
got
so
it.
we get out there. Yeah, I took my son out there, and we were out there for about almost 4 hours. Just
Oh
it
wow.
was the best thing I
4
ever
hours.
felt. Yeah, I met people along the way,
Oh
and then
wow.
they have these things called rapids, and I
Okay.
call them little mini tornadoes. They like right there in the water, like
I saw that
yeah,
on
and
television.
they take you under. They do.
Oh
Like
wow.
if you hit a big enough one, yeah, they take you under, and you once again you gotta like just let go, because I mean if you don't, you can drown in those things. If you
Yeah,
get, you
it
freak
sounds
out.
dangerous.
Yeah, so that's how life is basically. I could go all around it, maybe, but it's like that's
No,
how
go ahead.
life is. Like you gotta do that. So my son, he ended up in the swamp.
Oh
And
wow.
the swamp was like this thick with bugs, and he got a crazy bug phobia. So
Mm,
here he is, like, freaking out. And
right.
it's like, you just need to swim over. And he was literally not that far away. And he an avid swimmer. He's not that far away. And I'm like, come on, just come on. Like, I don't
Right.
want to, we're not about to climb up the mountain.
Right. Whole
It,
big
and you
yeah.
know what happened?
What
We
happened?
ended up having to climb up the mountain
Oh wow.
because he was afraid. And can you believe people are living like that right now, not realizing like one idea, one
Hmm.
phone call,
Hmm.
one email away, but they won't even send the email. They
Right.
won't ask the question. They won't try. They
Right.
just sit there in the swamp, just like my son
Wow.
did, and they make it so much harder than it needs to be. And
And it
now
is.
you climbing up this mountain, and if
Right.
you make one slip wrong on the mountain, guess what happens?
That's it. You fall. That's it.
That's it. You out of
That's
there.
it. Yeah.
You out of there. So
That's it.
I say that to say that all the experiences is relevant if you look at the lesson in it. I mean,
Right.
even if you go skydiving, there's a lesson in that as well. I find a lesson in every single thing, and I learned that from my grandmother. Because I had to
That's
wonder,
good.
like, how the heck do you make it to 80 years old with your mind? You got to be
Right.
protecting it and doing something right. And my aunt, she called me the other day, she's 90.
Oh
She don't
wow.
take no medicine. We were talking
Oh
about that the other
wow.
day, and he said nothing. I'm like, no, she don't take nothing, but she
Okay.
party. She still go to the
You
club.
party?
Yeah, she
Oh
still.
wow.
That's
Are
what
you
makes her
serious?
happy. Yeah, I am. I'm so serious.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
she
That's
don't miss the
good though.
Thursday nights. Yeah, she was
Yeah.
still going. Yep.
Oh
And they
wow.
talked about her, and all the people that talked about her, they all gone. You know what I
Mm,
mean?
mm.
Like,
That's
they all gone.
wow. So that's
So
a
let's
long
talk about
lifeline
you.
in your family.
You you an entertainment executive. How
Yeah.
what's that? What is
Well,
that?
entertainment executives. I mean, I make a lot of things happen behind the scenes for a lot of different entertainers, not just recording artists or models or whatever, for different entertainers. So I
Yeah.
mean, we can go back and come up, but I mean, starting out, like I said, I was drumming or whatever, but I guess around fifth grade, maybe fifth grade, I started trying to get into the more into the arts or whatever, just my artistic side was just wanting to burst out. It's like, okay, you want to drum, you can draw, you can paint. I think fifth grade, I had a teacher, Miss Hopkins, and she was one of those teachers that came up in the arts. So certain students, she would see,
Oh,
that artsy side,
she could
and
see the
what she would
gift.
do is she could see it, and she would
Yeah.
even take time on her off days, and take like
Oh,
me and maybe two other people to like art museums, the theater where they did opera and all of that stuff. Just trying to give us a different aspect, of life. And that year, I actually had a painting made the front of the paper. It actually made the museum. It went to the art museum. It was on exhibit and everything. And she was one of those that was always focused on, do your talent, use your talents, use your gifts. Don't be scared to dream. You can do it. And maybe that
oh,
next year, yeah, that next year, I'm like, okay, I do the drumming. I think I want to, try, rapping or whatever. It was little local rappers on the radio, and I'm like, I think I can do that, and
uh-huh.
started dibbling and dabbling with that. And maybe 3-4 years later, you know, that's when I started getting like a little radio play and all of this stuff or whatnot. But you know, just
Don't
all
be
of
calling
that,
it
you know,
little
just
radio play. Radio play is
well, I mean,
big.
it
No, we
was, it
cannot.
was.
I'm not gonna let you say little in my
You're not
presence.
gonna let me do it. I
Hey,
can't
no.
downplay
Oh
it.
no. I'm gonna bring it and be like, oh no, that is huge. Let me tell you,
Okay.
when my first client was Focus, right, from
Mm-hmm.
Aftermath, and I do
Oh
say his
yeah.
name because when you go through some of the things that I have made it through, and for someone to believe in you and say yes, and
Mm-hmm.
that yes is not yet like, hey, cling on to me and be like a spectator. That
No.
yes says you're gonna eat and your family is gonna eat and you're
Oh
gonna eat
yes.
for like 10 years plus. Because I've been in
There you
business,
go.
I feel like it's pretty good. I mean, I've been over 10 years. That's good.
That's good.
Like,
It
so
is.
that's pretty good. I didn't realize how good that was though, because Bishop Jake said, Sharon tells a lot of women starting businesses, but they're not lasting. So
Right.
that's good. He
Right.
got that deep voice.
Oh
And
yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. So I'm like, trust the process. Keep going.
That's the
Make
process.
sure you nurture your relationships. Check in and say, hey, what's up? You need anything? How can I help you?
That's right.
It's nothing more irritating for people to reach out to me and I didn't see them share a flyer. I didn't see
There
them
you
like
go.
leave a DM and say, hey, what's up? You good over there? How can I help you? Is
There you
there
go.
some service that I offer that would be, I don't I don't see that at all. Very few and in between. And maybe it's supposed to be that way because everybody is not gonna go. That's just
That's right.
that's just it. That's just it.
That's right. That's
How
the
do
realization of it.
you that's the realization. Like, how do you
Yeah.
connect and collab and work with Gucci and Gucci Mane and
Well, that
David Banner? Like, how did that come about?
well, we'll start with David Banner because he was first. Now, like I
Okay.
said, you know, early as a young teen, I started, you know, doing the music or whatnot, getting the big radio play. You know, we ain't gonna downplay it no more. And
Back, yeah.
yeah, so I end up meeting a guy that was he was in a rap group or whatever. We was doing a show down in Mississippi. It was a pretty big show for us because they had a lot of big you know, Memphis rappers and other stuff on the show. So
Right.
that guy, me and him, you know, we built a relationship, and within the next couple of years, you know, he told us that he does graphics or whatnot. So we started getting him to do like a lot of the artwork for like my albums and stuff. And what he did was when David Banner was, I guess, getting on the scene or whatnot, he was telling me, he was like, you know, you in Atlanta, we got another guy that's from Mississippi. He's about to take off. You know, I'm doing artwork for him. Maybe you should reach out to him and y'all collab. And, you know, at that time, I'm
Uh-huh.
like, you know, I never heard of this guy. Who is he or whatever? I don't know if I want to do it. But, you know, we started seeing, you know, his body of work. He was grinding. So I'm like, you know what? It may not be a bad idea. So I had another guy from Mississippi. We were supposed to do a song together, me, him, and David Banner. And he was pretty big at the time. He was doing stuff with Rashida and a lot
Oh, that's
of
dope.
Buju Banton, like a lot of different people, Jagged Edge. So he was busy. He didn't get to do the song with us. And I kind of just put it off because I wanted him on it real bad. But one day David Banner called and he was like, yo, we're going to do this record or what? And I'm like, you know what? Let's do it. So
Let's
we ended
go.
up doing that record. You know, we did a record called Mississippi Boys. And I mean, it was a pretty dope record. It got a lot of radio play. And maybe 3-4 months later, David Banner gets his big deal. He finally gets his break. And I'm like, wow, you know, a guy from Mississippi at a radio station, he'd been rotating that song we did. And he called, he said, yo, I got Banner up here at the station. He's going to be doing a video or whatever, you know, I'm reaching out to you. You in Atlanta, he's going to do it in Atlanta, yada, yada. And, you know, Banner invited me out to the video shoot or whatever. And, you know, that was kind of the gist of me and David Banner. But we met on the count of Designer, who was an artist. And it kind of just, you know, put us together.
It just
And
worked
the guy
out.
that was supposed to be on the song with us is funny because to do the thing with David Banner, he was there. So we had a chance to kind of really connect. And we built a nice relationship, which he was on the label that, you know, put Gucci Mane's Trap House out first. And me and that guy just kept a relationship. And we started going to the studios together. And Gucci at the time was, you know, recording the Trap House. So that's kind of how that relationship was built. It was like the rapper turned designer introduced me to David Banner. The David Banner song with me, him, and the guy that didn't make it never happened. But Banner invited me to his video shoot where that guy was. So we connected.
And
he
grew.
connects and introduces me to Gucci. And it's just one of those connect the dots stories. I tell everybody, you got to connect the dots in this business.
Yeah,
like,
you do. Yeah,
everything
you do.
is connecting the dots, you know, and that's what
Yeah.
puts that puzzle together. So yeah, that was
You're a valuable individual though, because the only way to connect the dots is to bring value to people. I mean, if you're not really bringing anything
right.
to the table, then what's the point?
That's right.
I learned
that's
that.
Right.
You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
I kind of learned that. And you
That's
know,
right.
and we can't work with everybody, but the ones that we work with, it works.
Right,
Yeah.
right. There you go.
It works.
I'm a strong believer in that.
To go back to the radio thing. So Focus did he produced a song 112, right? And when you hear it when he explained the story about when he heard it on the radio, he had to pull over to the side of the road. That's a pretty big deal for something that you create.
And you hear it.
Then now it's not just on the radio, it's being broadcast. That's a big deal. So your music was you've been on the radio, you've worked with some amazing people. You're also one of the things that really stuck out to me, which I absolutely love, is journalist. How did you can write?
Yeah.
I don't mean to say it like
no,
not right, but that's a great gift to have.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. That's something. I mean, I always, you know, like to write or whatever, and diddle and draw and doodle and all of this stuff. But just writing. Like the first time I had an opportunity to, I guess, do a story for somebody, it was it goes back to the whole connecting the dots thing. Another guy that was from Mississippi who had moved to Atlanta and had the same relationship with that designer guy that put the David Banner puzzle pieces together.
He a valuable individual.
This guy's in Atlanta, and he told him to kind of get with me, and me and him, you know, we connected at a club because they were doing an open mic or something, and I was in there dealing with some DJs. But that guy said, "Hey, you from Mississippi? You're the one with the song with Banner. We heard it. They played it on the radio in Atlanta at that time." So he was like, "I heard the song. We got a magazine that we're dealing with out of Mississippi. I want to talk to you about it." And I'm like, "Okay, you know, maybe it's an ad or anything that could, you know, boost whatever I'm doing at the time." But once we talked, you know, it turned into a position because I started like writing, but it was like a ghostwriter thing, like just contributing and somebody else gets the credit.
Oh, I've done that for years.
Just letting them get the credit. But that's kind of how it started. I'm like, you know what? I can kind of dig this. And maybe 2011 or 12, an A&R from Universal Records, who'd known about my music when he was in college.
I was so excited about this story.
He started a magazine for independents. And me and him connected with another guy from Universal Records. And that guy saw, I buy ads in different magazines. So that guy saw an ad I bought. And he called me and everything. We talked, and I'm like, you know, I wasn't interested in what he was selling. But he was like, well, I told him who I was and where I was from. And he's like, huh? He's like, nah, the guy that runs our magazine that works for Universal, he's from that same city. I've never heard of you. So he called that guy on a conference call with me. And, you know, he's like, hey, I got this guy on the phone.
He got your co-signer.
Yeah, you know, and he's like, who's on the phone? And he's like, some guy, LPD. And he's like, Mr. LPD? And I said, yeah. And he's like, the real one? I'm like, yeah. So he's like, man, we was playing you down in Jackson State. And, you know, we just got into a big, you know.
That is so awesome.
Yeah, and he told me about the magazine. And he's like, you know, I'd like to get you a part of it. And I told him about the experience of, writing for another one and not getting
Yeah.
credit. And he took me up on the offer. He gave me artists to do an interview on. And I turned it in within 24 hours. And he was like, yo, that's dope. He was like, you really did a dope interview. Like everything was right. I did on editing and everything. So that was like, hey, you're hired. And that's what turned into Uncut Illustrated Magazine, because maybe 5-6 years later or whatever, all the grind and work that I put in with that magazine, he was like, you know what? You brought a lot to the table, sponsorship, whole new design team. You guys want to
That's
kind of
it.
branch off? And that's where this
Yeah.
Uncut thing comes from.
That's the
So,
wole operation.
yeah.
So you have that on the
Connect the
job. You
dots.
have that on the job training, like me. Like I didn't honestly, I didn't even know what a publicist was. I still be sometimes like, what? Like
Oh,
that's
wow.
yeah. Folks was like, you're gonna be my PR, and so
Right.
I didn't want to ask them because I hate to ever look like, some things you gotta just go find on your own, and you'll be
That's
telling
right.
people like, oh, well, no, do that. Then they're gonna be like, oh, I can't depend on you. Like you gotta be able to go out and seek the answer.
There
You
you
know what
go.
I mean?
There
You're
you go.
already in the team. You're on the team. So now you got to seek the answer. So he said, you were my PR. I was like, oh, okay. So then I started looking it up, and I was like, oh, okay. So I got to do a lot of writing. I got to do
Right.
a lot of talking.
Right.
And I don't know. For me, I didn't really
Public
do red
relations.
carpets. Red carpet really wasn't my thing up until maybe a couple years ago when Tyrese did The Shame. He did like a short film, Shame. That was my first red carpet, but that was years on end after working and grinding. I was going to the clubs, at nighttime in New York City with the DJs. DJs
Oh,
is
wow.
important. Would you tell the
They
artists
are.
how important the DJ is?
The DJs are very important.
The
And that
DJ is
goes
so
into
important.
that goes into a whole nother aspect. Because once I done with the David Banners and the Gucci's and everything, it's like, okay, everybody's rapping. It's like behind the scenes, breaking records and everything on that level was like, hey, this is what you want to tap into. And I was already pretty good at DJing and stuff anyway, so I got with some DJ coalitions, and I got a guy. He pulled me into actually the first real one was the So Def DJs, and it was a lot of fun. You got the franchise boys, like they were on their way.
That is so dope.
We're on the road with them. You got Escape was making their return. Young Capone, who's now
hot.
It's just Young Jock, but Young Jock was actually like the mic guy for I think her name was Miss B. She was an artist So Def was focusing on, and nobody knew he rapped or anything. He's just he's being humble. He's doing his mic guy, bad guy, and maybe some months later we started hearing it's going down, and we're like, who is this Young Jock? And we see him, and we're like, this dude that was on the tour that was just the humble mic guy and the bad guy, and he's this big thing now, So
wow,
wow, and that comes from me being a part of the DJ coalition side of it. So the DJs are very important. That's
they're so important. They so important that I worked with a DJ so I could be alongside and see what he actually does. Because it's one thing to be a spectator and see the DJ with the with the records and do what he do, and be out there. But it's another thing to actually see what happens during the day and how the deals are being made and how the things are getting booked. All of those things are important to know too. I want to know what you do.
It is.
So I PR'd for a couple of DJs, and that was pretty dope. Yeah, that was pretty dope. I work with DJ Butter Rock in Atlanta. He's a celebrity DJ.
I've heard
You've heard
of
him?
I was at an event for a major artist on the, doing my DJ stuff some years ago, and he was promoting Funky Foot.
DJ stuff. Yes, Funky Foot. That's his.
Yeah. So,
that's his artist.
Yeah. So,
and I'm telling you, if don't nobody else believe in their artist, he believes in his artist.
He does. And that was years ago, and I think they gave us a little CD, some DVD or something. I'm like, okay. And I mean, they're still at it, you know.
They still at it, and you know they
Still
was
at
at
it.
it because you remember the name. Because
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
seen a lot of artists come and go, and I don't remember their name unless they really made a significant difference because they was working.
Right, right.
It's the hustle,
It's
isn't
the
it?
hustle.
Whether it's good or bad, let me tell you, I got a lot of music in my phone that I just purchased based
Okay.
upon me seeing them promote themselves and not giving up. I
That's
gotta
it.
respect that.
That's it. You can't never give up. Can't never give up.
I gotta respect that. That's like the dude in New York City running around selling water. I gotta buy a bottle because he out here hot and he carrying all that. I gotta buy a bottle.
That's right. That's
That
right.
is so funny.
That's right.
The acting, I want to touch. I'm trying to touch. Oh, you like
Oh, you got it. Yeah, you got
this is like a walk-in, hurry up, virtual
No,
like
have at
documentary with you.
it.
Like this is
Do your
crazy.
thing.
The acting. I seen HBO's Outsiders. I seen Stars P Valley, which was that was a pretty dope series. I have to binge
It
on them
was.
because I be tunnel vision focused on stuff that I do. So when I do take that
Right.
time away, I'm binging on it. Like I'm just and
Right.
that's it. I'm sitting
And you
back
see
and I'm
something
chilling.
different
This is it.
every time you watch it.
Every single time. I think I need to, after talking to you, go back and watch it again. But it was
Oh
just
yeah.
so many, it was just so many different aspects to that I absolutely enjoy. I love the fact that I'm
Yeah.
from Cleveland, Ohio. I love the fact that I got to see the guys, the hustlers around me do what
Right.
they do
There you go.
because I was observing and I was taking
Right.
notes. And people
Right.
always, I was like, how do you do that? Because I just took notes and I observed. And that's what I want people to do. I want people to like really like wake up and pay attention to what's going on in the world. Be aware
That's right.
of
That's
what's
right.
real, of
That's right.
course, but never let go of
Right.
the dream. But you gotta be aware. You gotta be aware. You gotta wake up.
Never.
So how did the
Never let go.
acting, how did that come about?
Acting. The whole acting thing. We'll go back to the
Ooh.
guy that was supposed to be on the song with David Banner. that
Okay.
I met at the shoot of Banners
Yes.
that introduced me to Gucci Mane.
He's
We
still
got
around
together,
right now?
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, he's around. Yeah.
Okay, thank God.
We
He's a
started
blessing.
hanging out, and we talk every week, but we started hanging out and going to clubs to promote the records we were doing and whatnot. And there was a guy in the club one night, and he's he looks important, and I'm one of those people, I want to know, hey, what's your deal? What do you do? So he was like, I'm a film producer or whatever. So I'm like, oh, where? You do movies? You do videos? He's like, yeah, I do it all. He's like, matter of fact, I'm filming a movie, MOB, Murder on Bankhead. It was a small independent film, but he's like, we're filming a movie tomorrow. We're doing the scene. Won't you come out? And I'm like,
That's big.
Can I be a part of it? And he's like, we'll see. Just
You
come
said
out.
it's small.
So I go out.
That's
and,
big.
well, it was a big opportunity. It was door number one, and I mean, I got a few roles in that this independent film. I got a few roles in that, and it made me say, you know what, I want to try, just see if I could get in more. And a good friend of mine, he was an R&B artist. He's actually from Ohio, and
Okay,
he's a good
Ohio.
friend of mine. Yeah, he introduced me to I don't know if you're familiar with Ro Brooks from the Wire. He's been on a lot of the Tyler Perry stuff, TV commercials. He's pretty big deal, He introduced me to him because he had a record store in Lithonia, Georgia, and for whatever reason, he's like, I know if I introduce you to him, you'll figure out some kind of way to make it make sense. So,
Right, exactly.
I'm dealing with Ro, the actor, at his record store, and we're in there just talking, and I'm telling him, I did rap or whatever before I got behind the scenes, and I'm looking around, I'm like, I see a lot of like Paul Wall's project, I see a lot of projects that I'm on and produced on, because I produce as well, and I show it to him, and I'm like, that's me, and that's my name, and he took an interest in me. He's like, oh, word. So yeah, he's like, you're not just bullshitting. So he's like, okay, that's you for real. You ever thought about doing music for movies? And I'm like, I thought about it, but I never knew the outlet or which way to go. So he's like, you know what? Get my number. I'm going to turn you on to some producers. And he turned me on. This will be the second movie. He turned me on to a guy who was working on a film based on it was a young black girl in Alabama back in the 80s. And it's a true story. They think they took her organs out of her body, like the sheriff for somebody in the town. Like it's the Holloway story. You can look it up. But he introduced me to that guy, and that guy was like, you want to come out, be an extra on a party scene. I'm like, yeah, whatever. It'll be seen. I'll do it. And I did it pretty good. And he was like, when it was over, I kind of hung around. And he's like, you just hanging around? He's like, you want a speaking role? I'm like, hell yeah. So he's like, you're willing to drive like almost an hour away from Atlanta. He's like, you're good. And I'm like, we're right behind you. We're right behind the crew. So
don't say no more.
And yeah, we went, and he said, okay, we got a speaking role. How quick can you memorize these lines? And I'm like, I mean, I can do it, or I can kind of add lib. I'm going to make it work. I'm not going to drop the ball. And we did it. I did it great. And Rose,
that is wow.
He gave me some pointers. He's like, yo, I like that, but do this, put this emotion with this. And I took all of that to heed, and I still use that to this day. But that was like, okay, now I think I really can do this. Let me get with some real casting agents and, really connect the dots. And I end up getting with a guy, I think they're from New York. They got a film company. And they were looking for locations. And I'm one of the guys that a lot of people used to call like, yo, we need to shoot a video. And that goes into that executive stuff.
No, yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I got a spot you guys can do the scene at. And I'm like, can I be in the scene and pretend I'm the DJ? And they're like, yeah, you get the location, yeah, you can do that. So we get there and they get everything they want, and it's like they're not going to do the DJ scene. And I'm like, wait a minute, hey, this was very important. We were going to do the DJ scene. That's how I got you guys the connection. And he's like, you want to be the bartender? I'm like, oh, hell yeah. Just, I'll get a rag, some glasses. I'll be the bartender. And we did that scene, and he liked how it went. And he's like, you want to just talk a little bit? And I'm like, yeah. So that was like a little, well, it was a speaking role. I'm not going to say little. That's not little. That's what I'm learning tonight with you. Nothing little. So that opportunity led to other opportunities. And the P Valley thing, it's from a agent that I was dealing with for a while. And the lady reached out to me 2018, and she was telling me about this show based in Mississippi, strip club. And I wasn't interested. The money, it wasn't like a bunch of money, but it was a paid situation. So I'm like, okay, whatever, and she just kept on every month, just kept like, hey, this show. And I'm like, well, is it going to be at the theaters? Like, what is this? And she's like, we don't know yet, but this show. And I still didn't want to deal with it. But 2019, like the first quarter, she had more detail. And she's like, okay, this, that, and the third, strip club, Mississippi, it's going to be on Stars.
She's giving you the entire synopsis.
She's breaking it down. And she's like, there's going to be, we got Doughboy's crew and Lil Murder's crew. And, I'm like, okay, I don't know who none of these people are, but I like where we're going with this strip club. Get back on the strip club all day. And I'm from Mississippi. It's from Mississippi. I'll try it. So we get there, and I did some scenes with Doughboy's crew, which I don't want to, tell his whole situation, but they ended up cutting all of that out. They kept Lil Murder's crew or whatever, but that's kind of how the P Valley thing started, and we did it from first quarter to like July or August of 2019, and they cut me out of a lot of scenes, but the experience was cool for me. And working on, you can see me real good. Episode 5, it's like they gave me it's like, hey, it's all on you. And I'm like, wow. Day before my birthday, on set with Isaiah Washington, the big actor Isaiah Washington. He introduces himself. We shake hands. And I'm like, whoa, this guy's been in Girl 6. And, he's worked with Spike Lee and everybody. And he's just giving us a pep talk. And I'm like, man, I'm really feeling this. And that was a scene that was like, I didn't even know.
Did you say yes? You chose the path.
Oh, wow. And it opened other doors.
Because you could have easily said, I'm cool.
Right. I could have said no again. Right.
Right. You could have
But
said
choosing
no,
that
but you
path,
didn't.
I didn't. And choosing that
Yeah.
path, the set of P Valley, it was so many people that did so many other things. So
Man, that
I
makes
got to
me
meeting
so happy to
people.
hear.
Yeah. I met people that put me in touch with casting directors for like music videos and, paid situations, all of them. And I figured out like, yo, this, just like music, it's a hustle. Like those guys are in there, the background extras, the
All of it.
makeup people, the wardrobe
All of
people,
it.
like the chef, like it's a whole world of its own, and it's a hustle. And I fell in love with it. And I went to dealing with some others that I met there, and that's how the HBO Outsider situation came about. So, I mean, it's just one of them things that God's like, okay, if you press yes on this button, there'll be another door. You press, it's like it's that path,
Yeah, and you got to choose it though.
You got to. And the only thing, I think February of last year, that was the last, like big filming, it was for NBC. And the pandemic, all of this craziness started. So,
Yeah.
it's
Oh man, yeah, isn't that
it's one of
crazy?
those
Yeah,
things.
my last event was in March, and then that was it. Done,
That
done,
was it.
done. Out of here. Ugh.
That was
But
it.
in February, it was dope though. I went to all these cool galas.
Yeah.
I even got a Bentley drop top, whatever. I was doing it all up,
Oh
right? I'm like,
wow.
I'm going. But then I get in the car and the gown is too big, and I'm like, I really didn't think this through. So
Oh
what they
wow.
did was they took care of me. They got me this Lamborghini BMW with the driver though. And so
Oh.
then I went to these parties. I got to meet Floyd Mayweather Sr. and
Okay.
Marla Gibbs is over here, and there was a lot of other people and Star Wars, the original Star
The
Wars.
original.
They was there. Yeah, yeah, eating on gold plates and just living life,
Oh
and not
wow.
realizing that he's like, I hope you enjoying this moment because this this is gonna be
It's
it.
about
You
to be.
about to go in.
And you know what? You know what? That's kind of what I got out of it because, like I said, February we were filming some stuff with Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, and
Yeah. Oh wow.
it was real fun. Everything was what it was. I'm like, okay, we got more opportunities coming this year. We're preparing for the South by Southwest Music Festival,
Right.
and the week
That's pretty
of South
big.
by Southwest, they shut everything down. And I'm like,
And they
wow.
was even
I
they
look
was even
forward every
taking
year
time with
going to
that
that stuff.
decision, right? With
Yeah,
the
yeah,
with the
right.
yeah, they was taking their little
Because
time with it, and they
37,
wasn't
38
sure.
years, it never had been canceled.
Yeah, I
So,
remember
so they
that.
were like,
Wow.
we don't know if we want to do it or cancel it or what, but
This has been
that was one of the things, I look forward to going to every year because going back to the, I guess, journalism hat that I wear, I look
uh-huh.
forward
You
to
were
like
many.
covering, I like covering South by Southwest, BET Experience, VMAs. Like I enjoy that stuff. So when all of that was canceled, it's like, what?
It
Like
was time to
it's
chill.
like, what do we do?
It was time to chill and come up with the blueprint.
There you go. There you go.
You know what I mean?
Strategize,
Like
strategize,
strategize. If this is the
re-strategize,
time to heal, heal. Get yourself
fresh
together, but you
refresh.
got to get back in the game. At
That's
some
it.
point, you got to get back to the table and play the game because the
You
pieces
got to.
are already moving, whether or not you there. They
That's right.
moving.
That's
So you
right.
got to get in the
That's right.
game. So
That's right.
where are we working on now? I know that the hour has gone by so fast. Wow.
Well,
That always amazes me. So what do we have? Like,
right
drop
now,
it.
right right now, I do have a new project that I'm putting out. I got a Christmas thing I do because Christmas stuff never gets old. So Player Type
Never.
Christmas, we did a video for Player Type Christmas. Yeah. We did a video for it the week of Christmas, and it was released that same week. So that's, it was a little music to kind of tie them over. But like right
Okay.
now, Mac into Society, that's a new album I've got coming out, Mac into Society. And it's more catering to the lifestyle, something else we didn't really tap into, but
Ooh, we didn't, and let
that
me tell you,
adult
because I can have
lifestyle.
that conversation. Okay, I can talk
That's,
about
you know,
any and every single thing. I can talk to anybody. Okay,
right,
seriously. Like I brought
right,
on Steve Sims.
right.
He's the Hollywood's millionaire guy. That's the guy you go to if you want to take you and your lady and you want to go have dinner with the Pope in Italy. He make it happen. So we had a
Uh,
conversation on here, live on Instagram, and we was just chopping it up. And it's amazing some of the
right.
people that want to come on. And I'm like, I'm about to start the podcast, so you can come on over to the podcast. We're gonna be on all digital platforms. Me, but it
I
takes a
love that.
team. You right? Yeah, we got to do
I
that.
love
So
that.
what's y'all know you're gonna have a lot of projects coming up, and we would definitely need
Oh
to
yeah,
top it up. Wow,
yeah.
that would have
We
been a
making
dope conversation to
we may be
have.
able to get our we may be able to get you some
Ooh,
they may sponsor. That's this is I'm a brand ambassador for Touch, and they're one of my
oh yeah.
sponsors, and they just made me a market manager like crazy.
Oh
But
yeah, so
that
we
connection
definitely need to
came
talk because it's coming out.
from another. Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So just let
Create
me
true
know. Yeah,
art with create true
yeah.
art with Sharon Tell. I even showed some of the one of the art pieces that I got with Marvin Gaye. Oh my goodness.
Oh
I gotta
wow.
have him. Yeah, he gotta be back there. I need his energy. He said,
That's
"What's in the
yeah,
bottle?"
yeah. A lot of soul
Touches
too.
in the bottle. Touches in the bottle. So yeah, we definitely need to keep in. We definitely need to
Keep in
keep in
touch.
touch. Yeah, we. Isn't that something? How
But
that just flowed the way that it flows.
it, 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 it just flows. But we're looking forward to
That's a
having
nice
you in the
bottle.
next issue of Uncut Illustrated.
Yes,
And
thank you.
yeah, that should be out. We instead of doing the first of every quarter, we're gonna try something different the last month of each quarter because we're quarterly. So you'll be in there, and the ones
Oh,
out
I'm
right
real
now for
happy about
everybody's
that.
viewing fifth anniversary issue. You know, we were real excited about
Oh, and
that. That's
I got a gift for you
yeah.
before we go. I'm gonna
What you
send it
got?
to you in
Oh
the
wow.
under the uncut. So this is a digital business card, right? So you're gonna have to give me
Okay.
whatever links or whatever you want me to share, and I'll have them added. I'll have the designers added to you with you,
Okay.
however that go.
I like that.
I have
I
a
like that.
sponsor for my live IG series. I have a sponsor for my live IG series, 10K cards. 10K cards is a digital
Okay.
business card where that, I mean, even if you wanted to add booking or consultation or videos, everything, even if you
Mm,
have Linktree, we add that to it because people have that. So I'll give you the link, and then you just put the link in the bio, and whoever needs to connect with you, all they have to do is scan that, and it literally comes up like an app on your phone.
okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
okay.
looked like an
Okay.
app. Like mine's, and my face is right under Netflix, like.
Oh wow.
So yeah, it's
Oh
pretty
wow.
cool. So
Oh
that's my
wow.
gift to you, and I'm gonna send it. I gotta send it over to you. Yeah, 10K cards. Yes, 10K cards
Thank
is
you.
amazing.
Thank
Look,
you.
the Midnight Arts, he know because he's an amazing graphic artist. He worked with some people. Yeah, he's that
Oh
dude.
wow.
He was on the show too.
Oh
I love
wow.
talking to. Yeah, I love talking. So love at the end of
Okay.
every conversation, because I know they kick people off. At the end of each conversation, I always ask the question: if you could give us one word or a sentence, something to help us motivate us as we continue to move forward. I know it's glitching
One
because
more
we're
time.
over an hour.
You were kind of
Okay,
going in and out. It
as
was part.
I'll say
Go
it
ahead. Go
over.
ahead.
The question is either give us one word or a sentence, something to help us as we continue to move forward, something motivating or inspiring. You get
Prayer.
to choose.
Prayer. Pray. Pray very hard.
That's
Then
the
I give
one
you a
word.
sentence. I give
That
you a
is
sentence. Brian, stay down till you
that's the
come up.
one word. That's it. That's all.
That's it.
That's all we
That's it.
need to pray. We just need to pray. That is it.
Pray
Thank you.
hard.
Oh my goodness. This has been an amazing hour. I am so grateful for you. Love,
I've
light.
enjoyed myself. I thank you for having me.
energy. Oh my God, are you kidding me? I
Oh yeah,
get to do this over and over and over again. This is living. To me, like
you
this
live,
is living.
you,
Yeah. I got a lineup. I'm doing this every day
you
next week,
living.
and I usually only do it twice a week. I'm living. So this is good. It's bring a glow. I don't wear all that makeup stuff. I don't wear too much of that. This is
It is.
glowing from. I'm happy. Like this is cool. So I really appreciate you for your gift of time because you have given me something that's really that you can't get back. You gave me some of that, and I really, when I say I appreciate you, I appreciate you. Thank you. I know it's freezing up. It's like get off. Okay.